My name is Casey, hanging out today, and we're talking about, and you've heard us mention this, the cool thing going on tomorrow over at City Winery. It's Story of a Song. It's 90s Unplugged, and live on stage, it's going to be Zach from the Nixons, John from 9 Days, Vinny from Sponge, and my guest right now, you might know him as the voice of the Verve pipe, or you might know Brian Vander Ark. Hello, Brian.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
All right.
Nice to be back in Nashville.
It is good to be. It's always nice to kind of swing by a little bit.
It is. Dip in, dip out.
Yeah. Are you able to get out here very often? No.
Hardly. No, I mean maybe once a year, but it literally is always just me dipping in and dipping out again.
Right.
There's never time to stay and enjoy the city, unfortunately.
You know, some people would tell you that every now and again that can be the appropriate dosage of Nashville.
I suppose that's true of every place.
It just depends, right?
Yeah.
So really looking forward to City Winery tomorrow.
Nice.
And again, it's Story of a Song.
Yeah.
It's 90s Unplugged. And this seems like such a cool evening. But before we get into the evening, let's get into the music. And I wonder if I could ask you to play something for us.
Yeah, of course.
What do you want to do?
Absolutely. I'm going to do our song called Colorful. I wrote this song for the movie called Rockstar.
All right.
So we were the only love song ballad in the movie. It's at the end of the movie. Mark Wahlberg lip syncs to my voice, which was really weird,
Right on.
frankly.
And that's not a credit that everybody has.
That's right. That's exactly right. So this is called Colorful. The show is over. Close the storybook. There will be no encore. And all the random hands that I have shook, well, they're reaching for the door. I watch their backs as they leave single file. You stood stubborn, cheering all the while. I know I can be colorful. I know I can be gray. I know this loser's living fortunate, 'cause I know you will love me the way. Most were being good for goodness sake, but you wouldn't pantomime. Oh, and you are more beautiful when you awake than most are in a lifetime. Oh, but through the haze, that is my memory. Well, you stayed for drama, though you paid for a comedy. And I know I can be colorful. I know I can be gray. I know this few living fortunate, 'cause I know you will love me the way. Oh, but look ahead as far as you can see. We'll live in drama, but we'll die in a comedy. And I know I can be colorful. I know I can be gray. I know this loser's living fortunate, 'cause I know you will love me the way.
Lightning 100 Nashville's independent radio, and that's one from Brian Vander Ark hanging out with us here in the studio. Coming up tomorrow, you're going to be at City Winery, right?
City Winery,
Story of a Song, 90s
so
Unplugged.
These shows are so fun.
Well, and this sounds like such a cool thing. We ran through this a minute ago, but just so everybody knows what we're talking about, it's Zach Malloy from the Nixons, it's John Hampson from 9 Days, it's Vinny Dombrowski from Sponge, and Brian Vander Ark, who people may know you from Verve Pipe.
Yeah, all my friends.
This is such a cool thing.
Yeah, so I get to sit up on stage. All four of us sit up. We each play one of our songs. We tell a little story of the song, and then sometimes we'll play on each other's stuff. You know, we make fun of each other. You know, we tell stories about the good old 90s and that kind of thing. It's an absolute blast.
But I wouldn't. I mean, surely, you know, a bunch of bands on the road in the 90s, surely you don't have any stories.
No, I mean, not that most of us remember, but the ones that we do remember are pretty awesome.
You're told you had a wonderful time.
That's right, exactly.
Right on. And this is all going to be like in the round too, right? That's what you're.
Yeah. So just us sitting on stools on stage and just go back and forth. It's a lot of fun.
Where did the idea for this come from?
It actually came from John from 9 Days. Now, their big hit song was Story of a Girl, so he played on that, Story of a Song, and he called me up. You know, we had done the Creed cruise together, and he said, hey, what do you think about this idea? I said, oh, my God, it's a home run. Let's do it. And then we did it, and it's been crazy. It sells out everywhere. It's a blast. I mean, people love those people love the 90s. The 90s was the best decade. I'm sorry.
Well, and that's actually, you've kind of hit on one of my notes here, and you know, like you said, right now, people are going nuts for anything even remotely related to the 90s.
Yeah.
And I guess, and to me, a lot of it is just the songs. Like, what do you think the staying power about the songs specifically from that era? Like, what is it?
Everything was authentic. That was the last decade where you knew that the bands were getting together and writing songs together, sitting in a room or in their basement, and they were putting pen to paper, and now you don't know. You don't know who's writing it. There was a certain point in the early 2000s where people were buying a chorus. Yeah. Like, hey, you got a great verse here, but we got to go to the Hit Factory and buy a chorus, you know? So you didn't know. So this was an authentic time, and I think that people recognize that and want authenticity for sure.
Do you still, I would imagine by now, like if you play a show, do you have people still coming up to you and telling you what these songs have meant to you?
Oh, absolutely.
What they've meant to them, and just
absolutely. I mean, especially with a song like The Freshman, you know, that's one of those songs that first of all, I was very fortunate that the Muse chose me for that song. The Muse, I mean, honestly, I could have written "I'm Too Sexy" or something like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, that has its merits too.
It's got its merits, but I want to play that every night. No, I would not. No, I mean, I feel like that. You know, when people come up and say how much it means to them, and the most common phrase that I hear is that I was a freshman when The Freshman came out. I hear that all the time, and I love it because, you know, people have this look in their eyes like I've never heard that before, and I just let them play with it. I love it.
Yeah, and I would imagine too. I mean, because you've spent, and just we'll say Freshman for example.
Yeah.
I mean, you spent a minute with that song now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would imagine it's so cool though that people are still finding, you know, new people are finding the song, or people are finding new things to unpack about the song.
Yeah,
because that's, I mean, not everybody gets one of those.
Yeah, no, honestly, I know, and honestly, you know, I get asked a lot if I get tired of playing it because I played the song over 10,000 times or something, and I never get tired of it because I know in the set list that's going to be a real moment for people in the audience. Yeah. That's going to be a moment for them. And, you know, we've got super hardcore fans that have been with us through all 13 or 14 albums we put out now over the last, 30 years. But I know at that moment that every single person is going to be into that moment. And that's a thrill every single night.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a thing, it was Chrissy Hines said years ago, and I think she said it many times, like, she really does not enjoy playing Brass in Pocket anymore. She kind of doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But she also understands that she cannot be the reason people go to a Pretender show and don't see Brass in Pocket.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You
I feel the same way.
You still got to take care of some of those, right?
Yeah, you really do. You really do.
We are hanging out with Brian Vander Ark here from the Verve Pipe, and coming up tomorrow at City Winery, it's Story of a Song, 90s Unplugged, Vinny from Sponge, John from 9 Days, Zach from the Nixons, and Brian, who is good enough to come in and hang out with us here from the Verve Pipe. Now, I understand you have a story kind of early in your career. I think we're going back to about 1990 here. Did you get a little bit of a launch from Willie Nelson?
I did. Willie Nelson gave me my first big break ever. I was a Holiday Inn lounge singer for the most part. At 16 years old, I was just playing at Holly's Bistros and these little things that were associated with a Holiday
Somewhere
Inn.
that would let you set your gear up and play.
Yeah, essentially, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And I would play for the old drunks. You know, somebody would yell out, "Play James Taylor, I'll give you $1," and I'd play James Taylor for $1, that kind of thing. And a buddy of mine worked at a country station. He said, "Hey, you want to meet Willie Nelson? He's coming through town. I got to go up on his bus and interview him." And I'm like, that sounds like something. And I made a little demo tape and gave it to Willie, and he was super gracious. He promised me he'd listen to my demo, and I left that bus with this great feeling of elation and inspiration. Some of those feelings might have had something to do with the quality of air in Willie's bus.
Could be.
But
yeah.
Willie himself called me 3 days later and said he loved the demo that I gave him and would I want to come play at Farm Aid 4 in Indianapolis. And so I got to go and play with all my, everybody that was on my posters in my childhood bedroom. I mean, we were talking about Crosby, Stills, Nash was there, and Neil Young and Lou Reed and all these other icons. So I went from playing in front of 20 people a night to 20,000 people overnight.
You're a kid at the awesome. Holiday Inn, then you wake up the next morning and go. That is
crazy, and all because of Willie.
Has every day you've lived since then been a little bit of a letdown since that moment?
Not until now.
Not until you've also you've walked into some very pro Willie territory right now. In case you didn't know.
I thought this was a safe space.
No. Brian Vander Ark with us here on Lightning 100. Story of a Song 90s Unplugged comes up tomorrow over at City Winery. And I wonder, we got a little bit of time left here. Could I get you to do another song for us?
Yeah, let's do The Freshman.
All right.
When I was young, I knew everything. And she a punk who really ever took advice. Now I'm guilt-stricken, sobbing with my head on the floor. Stop a baby's breath and a shoe full of rice. No, can't be held responsible. She was touching her face. I won't be held responsible. She fell in love in the first place. For the life of me, I cannot. Made us think that we were wise and we'd never compromise. For the life of me, I cannot believe we'd ever die for these sins. We were merely freshmen. My best friend took a week's vacation to forget her. His girl took a week's worth of Valium and slept. Now he's guilt-stricken, sobbing with his head on the floor. Thinks about her now and how he never really wept, he says. Can't be held responsible, 'cause she was touching her face. I won't be held responsible. She fell in love in the first place. For the life of me, I cannot remember what made us think that we were wise and we'd never compromise. For the life of me, I cannot believe we'd ever die for these sins. We were merely freshmen. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. We've tried to wash our hands of all of this. We never talk of our lack in relationships. Our guilt-stricken, sobbing with our heads on the floor. We fell through the ice when we tried not to slip. We'd say we can't be held responsible, 'cause she was touching her face. I won't be held responsible. She fell in love in the the first place. For the life of me, I cannot remember what made us think that we were wise and we never compromise. For the life of me, I cannot believe we'd ever die for these sins. We were merely freshmen. For the life of me, I cannot remember what made us think that we were wise and we never compromise. For the life of me, I cannot believe we'd ever die for these sins. We were merely freshmen. We were merely freshmen. We were only freshmen.
Lightning 100 Nashville's independent radio. More from Brian Vander Ark, talking about Story of a Song. It's 90s Unplugged coming up tomorrow over at City Winery. Zach Malloy from the Nixons. You got John Hampson from 9 Days, Vinny Dombrowski from Sponge, and this guy Brian Vander Ark right here from Verve Pipe.
Yeah, I've got a great story about the freshman too, but you'll have to come to see it.
See, I respect what you did. This is not your first day. I respect that. Well, if people want to find you online, check up on you, check up on the band, all things Brian Vander Ark and Verve Pipe, where can we find you?
Oh, absolutely. Go to our TikTok page. We have a lot of fun. I have a blast on there, by the way. And it's one of the things I love to do is I have a little special beef with another alternative rocker. I won't tell you who, but that's always enjoyable. So TikTok's the place. Otherwise, go to our website, thevervepipe.com. You can find everything there.
It's almost too simple. Brian Vander Ark, thank you for your time, bud.
Thanks,
Appreciate you.
Thank you.